what would be kind of like the go-to for acute aggression prior to an arm wrestling match? Would it be like Halo or something like check drops, or just out of curiosity?
I've seen people snort Halo testing, but
Holy shit.
Usually.
Did you meet him through arm wrestling, or how'd you meet him?
Yeah, we're this. I used to train at arm wrestling with his team, so I used to be on his team. Yeah.
Have you ever put up pictures of you like back in the arm wrestling days? It'd be interesting to see.
I have a couple actually. You know, I wish I took more pictures of back in the day, but I have a bunch of pictures. I did put 2 up on my Instagram. You've never seen them?
No, and I'd be interested to. You should do like a breakdown of, you know, what, like not necessarily advising people what to do, but sort of like an arm wrestler stack, or like a nootropic stack for arm wrestlers. I feel like that kind of stuff would get a lot of views, and it's stuff you have thorough experience with, and it intertwines your, you know, passion for, you know, performance enhancement in like what you used to do, as well as like potentially being able to give advice on like harm reduction and stuff like that. Like I feel like there's a lot of interplay that no one's really touched on, because everyone does like the bodybuilder, you know, what they take, but no one's talking about arm wrestling. So that could be something that you might want to try.
You give me great ideas. We've been talking for like 3 days. I have 6 or 7 great ideas now, so I just need to get started.
No, it's good. It's only a matter of time before you put something out that just like randomly picks up.
But you're totally right, because arm wrestling is like a bit of an endurance sport, and it's a bit of like a lot of it's static strength and endurance. So some drugs, like the worst thing you could take is trenbolone. You'd be destroyed in an arm wrestling match. So there is some value to be added there for sure.
What would be kind of like the go-to for acute aggression prior to an arm wrestling match? Would it be like Halo or something like check drops, or just out of curiosity?
I've seen people snort Halo testing, but
holy shit.
Usually it's Anadrol. People go into the competitions. Usually you'll see especially the super heavyweights. On the day of the competition, you'll see them blue. If they're white people, they'll look like blue because of the amount of Anadrol they took. Where I don't know what it does to blood circulation, but it ends up being where you look a little bit blue and like you've just died. So Anadrol has an immediate impact on your strength. If you take Anadrol an hour before an event, you immediately get stronger, and that's because of adrenergic signaling.
So in my head, I would assume you're not going for something that's targeted like protein expression, like a Primobolan or anything. You'd be more looking at something that's like heavily skewed towards like sympathetic drive, aggression, etc. But obviously this is your expertise, your lane. You used to do this back in the day. So I would like to hear what you would hypothetically do if you were an arm wrestler again.
So the main thing with arm wrestling, thank you Derek, it's an interesting question. The main thing with arm wrestling is that people don't want to add too much glycogen. They don't want their muscle to be too full, because when they're like that, they find that their speed is reduced or their endurance is reduced. They're not as functional on the table. So the main goal is, there could be 2 main goals. One is to improve neural signaling in the body. So like even something like Anavar does that, even though it's not so sympathomimetic, but it does improve neural signaling. Anadrol does as well, halotestin does, Trenbolone does, for example, but a horrible drug obviously for this purpose. So that's one thing, and the second thing you'd want to do is improve your endurance somehow. And so something like equipoise would be very attractive for that reason. So I think what people tend to do is tend to use things like dry compounds, or they use estrogen aromatase inhibitors, and something like equipoise, and something that really aggravates the sympathetic nervous system, like Anadrol. Anadrol being the favorite.
There would be no implementation of like aggressive stimulants or anything like that?
Oh, I think people, I'm trying to think back and see if I know of anyone that was taking a stimulant that I know of. No, everyone I know was just taking halotestin or Anadrol.
No check drops?
No, I've never come across check drops personally.
So purportedly, that's what Mike Tyson's drug of choice was before he bit that guy's ear off. Supposedly. So
someone corrected me about that on my channel. I was saying he took halotestin. Apparently he took check drops.
But it's like either or is speculation at the end of the day. But supposedly it was check drops. That's what I heard too.